What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitical Response. We cover political news. We keep you up to date and keep you informed with everything that the government does, folks. And let me tell you, right off the top, the Democrats are absolutely deranged with Donald Trump. They don't like anybody that's not in the political establishment to come in and start kicking out their political establishment elites. They seem to hate this, and you can tell by looking at everything surrounding Donald Trump. They act like this man is worse than Hitler. And as a matter of fact, coming from a normal, average, everyday American that wasn't into politics when Trump was in office, I would have to say that Trump had a pretty good record. Looking back at it, if you will. Things were really good under Donald Trump, coming from somebody who wasn't that deep into politics when Trump was in office. The economy was doing great, y'all. Sure, he made a lot of mistakes. Who isn't going to make mistakes, right? But you look at the Joe Biden administration compared to the Trump administration, and there are some vast differences between the two. But that has not stopped the Democrats from going absolutely deranged. They don't want anybody that's not in the political establishment to come in and start telling them what to do. Check this out. House Democrats step up to try to stop Project 2025 plans for a Trump White House. Yes, derangement at its best, y'all. Here we go, y'all. Warning about the far-right Project 2025 agenda for a Donald Trump White House. A group of House Democrats has launched a task force to start fighting the proposal and stop it from taking hold if the Republican former president returns to power. You love how they do it. They call it far-right right off top to make you think Hitler and the Nazis, when the Nazis, they really weren't far-right. They labeled themselves Democratic Socialists. That's what the Nazi Party was, by the way. But see, they gotta label everything that's to the left of them as far right, right? Like, these people don't believe in a center anymore because they have gone so far left that they have fell completely off the map. So to them, everything is far right. Even you out there, if you're a centrist or maybe you're right-leaning or a little bit, you're far right. Yeah, these people tend to forget that Donald Trump was a Democrat, was a lifelong Democrat, and still holds a lot of Democratic values. Democratic Rep. Jared Huffman of California is unveiling the Stop Project 2025 task force on Tuesday, the latest sign that congressional Democrats and outside groups are treating Trump's campaign seriously in the expected rematch against Democratic President Joe Biden this fall. Yes, and they should. The polling says they should. And what do they mean by treating it seriously? As if they wouldn't treat it seriously? Trump's been up in the polls ever since the polls started polling. The stakes just couldn't be higher, Huffman told the Associated Press. Huffman said the Project 2025 agenda will hit like a blitzkrieg. You gotta love the Nazi undertones that they're going with here, right? You gotta love that. And lawmakers need to be ready. If we're trying to react to it and understand it in real time, it's too late, he said. We need to see it coming well in advance and prepare ourselves accordingly. I wonder how they're going to do that. The Democratic-led task force comes as groups on and off Capitol Hill are increasingly alarmed over Project 2025, a sweeping blueprint from the conservative Heritage Foundation that is preparing to quickly help staff a new GOP administration with plans for dismantling aspects of the federal government and installing loyalists for a second Trump term. Now, you might be thinking, what is so bad about that? The federal government has become bloated and corrupt. Why would we not want to dismantle the federal bureaucracy? And installing loyalists, right? Like, what? What do you mean by it? Like, they're trying to say it's a bad thing. They're trying to indicate to you that he's going to install loyalists. Why would you want to hire somebody for a presidential administration that wasn't loyal to you? Why would you want to hire somebody that was disloyal to you, right? Like as if they would hire people that hate them. That makes no sense. Kevin Roberts, the president of the Heritage Foundation and Heritage Action for America, scoffed at the unserious effort and said the left is in a frenzy as Project 2025 tries to wrest control of the federal bureaucracy. Project 2025 will not be stopped, Roberts said in a statement. He said the Democrats fighting Project 2025 are more than welcome to try. We will not give up and we will win. While the Trump campaign has repeatedly said that outside groups do not speak for the former president, Project 2025's 1,000-page proposal was drafted with input from a long list of former Trump administration officials who are poised to fill the top ranks of a potential new administration. Core to the Project 2025 plan is ousting thousands of civil servants and replacing them with personnel from a database of applicants, an effort to reverse the setbacks of Trump's first term when many of his more extreme ideas were thwarted and blocked by those refusing to break norms or overextend presidential powers. No. What they're talking about there is people like that CIA agent who was caught on camera saying that they intentionally withheld information from Donald Trump that Donald Trump should have known. We know this outright that many in Donald Trump's administration were actively working against Donald Trump to thwart him in control. He was the president. You don't actively work against the president. None of his policy prescription was extreme. Right? He wanted to close down the border. That is normal, y'all. That is not racist. He wanted to build a wall. There is nothing wrong with wanting to secure your borders. And besides, you don't actively work against your boss. In a democracy, you allow democracy to take effect, right? Any policy, any rules that Donald Trump would have to come up with have to go through the courts, right? Because they're going to be legal challenges, and he can't just impose a dictatorship. In other words, it's going to be struck down in the courts. And coming from a guy who says we are the party of law and order, he is going to respect those courts. Which, did he ever disrespect those courts when they decided to rule against him in his administration? No, he didn't. However, the Biden administration has done that time and time again. Look at student loan debt. He came up with a plan. The Supreme Court said it's unconstitutional. You can't do that. So Biden did it anyway, and is still doing it anyway. The Biden administration is actively suing Texas for passing a state law that would assist the federal government. Why would the Biden administration appropriate significant resources to fighting a state that's trying to help them? It makes zero sense. Huffman's group is the latest to take on the Project 2025 proposal and plans for a Trump White House. Last week, one of the nation's leading civil rights organizations, the American Civil Liberties Union, announced it was preparing potential legal action to stop Trump's campaign promise to launch mass deportations of immigrants on the first day of his presidency if elected. It's the first of several memos the ACLU is rolling out offering a blueprint on how it plans to respond to a second Trump or Biden term. Why? The Biden administration is destroying our country by allowing millions of criminal aliens to come into this country. Deporting these people is getting them out of our country. The Biden administration has allowed thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of actual criminals into this country who are going around committing crimes. Criminal alien criminality has spiked. It is insane. And why do these people want to get rid of, like, Joe Biden illegally allowed these people to come into this country. So the fact that Donald Trump wants to deport a lot of these people is normal. Yes, that is not an extreme position. These people were allowed to come in illegally, by the way. If you respect law and order, you should respect the fact that he wants to get rid of these people. But the ACLU is a very corrupt organization, if you will. American Civil Liberties Union. Yeah, my ass. And others are detailing alleged threats to democracy if Trump's attacks on the judicial system, plans to pardon those convicted in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol, and threats of vengeance on political enemies take hold. Yes, the Department of Justice has been weaponized against conservatives. We have proven this outright on this channel. On this very channel, the DOJ is continuing to go after people that were at the Capitol on January 6 who were nonviolent, people that didn't even go into the Capitol. Some of these people were arrested and spent time in jail. So, of course, Donald Trump is going to pardon innocent people. He's not going to pardon the people that were violent. You think he's really going to do that? No, of course he's not. He said it outright. He doesn't like violence. But that didn't stop the DOJ from going after nonviolent people who didn't even commit a crime, who had nothing to do with disrupting an official proceeding in Congress. They were just outside at the rally. Right, and the FBI absolutely went after these people and arrested a lot of these people. Right, like we know from the video evidence, there definitely wasn't 1,400 people fighting with cops that entered the Capitol. That was only a couple hundred people at most. But yet there's been over 1,400 arrests. Over 900 convictions. And they're still, till this day, going after people. Till this day, they're still appropriating 5% of the DOJ's budget, which is like almost $40 billion. So that's millions of dollars to go after people that were just there on January 6th. Non-violent people who didn't even go into the Capitol. So yes, he's going to pardon a lot of those people. But the corporate press doesn't want to tell you that. They just want to say, oh, the January 6th Capitol rioters. No, they've arrested many, many more people that weren't rioters. They were just there. Is it illegal to go to the Capitol? Is it illegal to protest in this country? I'm sorry, it is not. And you cannot go after people that were just there protesting who were nonviolent, didn't disrupt any official proceeding. You cannot go after those people. It is a grave injustice in this country. And as far as the taking vengeance on his political enemies, yes, anybody that has committed a crime, you sick the DOJ on them. That is how law and order works. He's not just going to go and arrest people that haven't committed crimes. But if you've committed a crime, which malicious prosecution is a crime in this country, yeah, he's going to go after those people. And if they just so happen to be political enemies, so be it. Don't be surprised to see some sort of indictment against Hillary Clinton, by the way. Huffman's group is made up of about a half dozen House Democrat lawmakers in a loose coalition separate from party leadership. It plans to begin briefing fellow lawmakers about Project 2025, hold a forum on Capitol Hill, and inform voters about its ideas. The group hopes to provide a hub of information for lawmakers, voters, and organizations about various policy proposals, including immigration, reproductive rights, and others. I just love how they can twist murder into reproductive rights. It's just the language of the left and how they like to say stuff like gender affirming care. If you take those words and break it down, gender affirming and care. Now, what gender affirming care is has nothing to do with any of those, because they're not affirming any genders. They're affirming a delusion. They're affirming the wrong gender, by the way, because these people are delusional and they have a mental disorder. It's called gender dysphoria. They think they're something else, and they think that affirming that dysphoria is going to make these people better. It's not. It's proven not to work. There's a really high suicide rate in this coalition of people, if you will. But I'm not trying to get into the weeds. As a founder of the Free Thought Caucus on Capitol Hill, Huffman said he has particularly been alarmed about a rise of Christian nationalism within GOP ranks and efforts to push more conservative theology into government. We were able to beat back some of the worst of this Christian nationalist agenda, this authoritarian agenda, in the first Trump presidency because they didn't really know what they were doing, Huffman said. You like how bigoted that is? Christian nationalism? Really? The people that are turning the other cheek, that have a code that they live by. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, covet your neighbor, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, those people, the people that go to church and pray for you when you're sick, yeah, those people, the people that love this country, yeah, they're just putting a label, Christian nationalism, because it sounds really close to white nationalism, and they put that label on a bunch of racists. Why? If you're a white nationalist, that just means you're white and you love the country. Doesn't mean you're a racist. There are things called black nationalists as well, and they're not racist either. And there's also Hispanic nationalists. Are we going to go off on that too? Or Latino nationalists? Or Muslim nationalists? Yeah, there are those out there as well. Muslims that love this country. That's all that is, y'all. The fact that they have been putting all this forethought and research and planning into a second Trump presidency means we'll be dealing with a much more formidable foe if it comes to that this time around. You're damn right. And they're going to come after the corrupt bureaucracy in Washington, D.C. I do believe you can get just about everybody to agree that Washington, D.C. is full of corrupt individuals. That's the same individuals that are telling you what they're telling you in this story. Do you want to take their word for it? Or do you want to take somebody's word for it that's coming from outside that group that wants to dismantle that group? Don't let these people fool you. Trump wants to dismantle this corruption. Will he be able to do it? Probably not. But by God, we've got to try. We've got to clean up Congress. We've got to get the corrupt political establishment elites and get them booted out and put some real average everyday Americans into office. People that love this country, that are going to put America first, take care of problems here, fix our own problems, and then worry about the rest of the world instead of destroying our problems and just destroying our country to save the rest of the world is absolute BS. I don't like it whatsoever, but I want you to let me know what you think about all this down in the comment section. Are you scared of the next Donald Trump presidency? I know if you're a political elite, I would be scared. I would be scared. I would be shaking in my freaking boots if I was you. However, for some reason, I highly doubt Trump's going to be some kind of savior. He's not going to be able to break up that corporate elite, that political elite, the establishment in Washington, D.C. However, if he does start chipping away at it, and puts a few cracks or dents into it, I'll be happy as hell. But don't think that Trump's going to come in and be some savior. No, he's only one man. He can only do so much. We do have a legal system in this country that we have to abide by, y'all. We can't work outside that legal system. We have to get everything done within the legal system. That means no violence. No violence whatsoever. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.